I'm David Horwitz and I play for the New South Wales Waratahs. I played my junior rugby, started when I was about 10 years old for East Wallaroos down in Bellevue Hill. Then mostly for my school, the Scots College, since year 4 and onwards. My rugby hero growing up was probably Stephen Larkham as a fly half, and kind of always been a fly half since I've been younger. Obviously him being the Wallaby fly half and for a good time was a really good example, and I reckon I have probably similar attributes to him. Nothing, genetically perfect, not great speed or agility or strength or power. It's more the ability to understand the game and read the game and control, and how an individual can have such a big influence on the outcome of the game. So that's probably my hero. A big sports fan, so probably people that have been really successful in their field. So probably someone like Michael Jordan would be amazing just to be around his aura. Then probably Roger Federer, and then probably like Miranda Kerr just for the company. Probably as the loudest one in the room. I mean, when you don't know me, I'm probably pretty quiet and reserved. But when I'm comfortable with people, I think I like to make a fool of myself and like to have no reservations. So yeah, I'm always willing to be the loudest one in the room. One thing is probably that if I do get on the field as a Super Rugby player, I'll be the first Jewish rugby player. I don't think there's been any Super Rugby players, whether here in Australia, and I'm pretty surprised it hasn't been more common in South Africa, because there are a lot of Jewish people that live there, but the first probably active Jew to play professional sport at a level like Super Rugby. My nickname at the Waratahs is actually Naif, so N-A-I-F. And that's because there's a cricketer that's Nathan Horwitz, and I'm David Horwitz, and no one's ever pronounced my last name right. So I remember one conditioning session, they were like, "Come on Horwitz, push it," and I was just really tired and frustrated, and I turned back to them. It was probably my first thing I did at the Waratahs, and I said, "Look, if you're going to try and motivate me while I'm doing conditioning, get my name right." And they're like, "No, from now on you're stuck with Horwitz, so it's Naif Horwitz now," and I'm pretty sure I'm going to have that for as long as I'm at the Waratahs. So pretty up and down about that, but what goes in a footy team. My favourite musician is probably Anthony Kiedis from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I'm a pretty big fan of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, but it's more about his life story. He's got a really popular book called Scar Tissue out. It's a really interesting life about what he's overcome and what he's done to be a musician, and I guess it's a pretty different lifestyle being a musician and a rugby player. Yeah, it seems a really interesting guy, and it comes through in his music, so yeah, that's probably why I like him the most. The best thing about playing for the Waratahs would have to be that this is my first year at the Waratahs, but I did a little bit last year, and that was Michael Checkle's first year as well. And everyone you speak to within the system knows that something special is brewing here, and knows that we have the potential, and I know a lot of people say it and have said it through their time at the Waratahs, but to be the first team to win the Super Rugby competition as a New South Wales Waratah, and so that's really exciting to be in the position to create history for your state. And New South Wales, it's a particularly strong state in rugby, and it's remarkable how we haven't had success in the past. So being in the position I am now with the people around me and the coaching staff, it's really exciting, and it's definitely the best thing about being here, knowing that success is a real possibility. Was probably being left out of my final involvement with the Australian schoolboys. I played Australian schoolboys in year 11, and then I played it in year 12, and then we had a tour to New Zealand and Fiji, and I wasn't picked for that, and they decided to go with someone else. And at the time, you're really disappointed, especially because that's like the last thing you'll have with involvement with school footy, and with your mates going on tour. I've never really done that, especially internationally. So that's probably the biggest thing, and then from then on, it's like you really want to prove yourself, and so it's been my biggest hurdle to overcome, but it's probably been the biggest inspiration to my limited success to date. This probably goes in a good way that I'm not too bad with watching whatever my girlfriend wants to watch, so a bit of Kardashians is fine, Made in Chelsea. And so if she switches on, I'll put up a 5-second fight, like, "Oh no, I don't want to watch this," but then I'd be just involved as her. So I'm pretty ashamed to admit that I like that, but I mean, what can you say? Kim has a pretty interesting lifestyle. Like Will, I'm doing a commerce degree, so I'd like to be a little bit more closer to graduating and having that under my belt. But I'd still probably be doing a little bit of rugby coaching with my old school and working at the local pizza store for $13 an hour and I'm eating a lot of my tips over there. So yeah, that's probably what I'd be doing. My best advice is probably from my dad, who's been pretty successful from his limited opportunities when he was younger. I mean, he didn't go to, he graduated in year 10 from South Africa and moved here with not much money in his pockets, and he's become quite successful. And so what he said to me is that, you know, it's really simple, but let your actions do the talking, let your success show the people who criticised you why they were wrong, rather than, you know, responding to them or, you know, going down to their level of negativity. Rather, let your success show them why they were wrong and why you were right in the first place.